Hola mi gente, MsMalcolmHughes here, and welcome back for another book review. I'm actually super excited for this book review that I will be doing today. It'll be one of those film versus adaptations a little bit, but it's a throwback. It's a throwback. I watched the movie not that long ago, and I was in a used bookstore. I stumbled upon it, and I was like, yes, we're doing this. And it is Waiting to Exhale by Terry McMillan. So for those of you unfamiliar, Waiting to Exhale by Terry McMillan is first and foremost a classic. But more than that, it is the story of four really good friends and their transgressions, the issues and challenges they have in life. If you remember the movie, it was a lot, and the book is no less a lot. It's all a lot, but let's get into the synopsis. Robin Stokes is a successful insurance professional recovering from a dead-end love affair. They say love is a two-way street, but I don't believe it, because the one I've been on for the last 2 years was a dirt road. After months of depression, shopping, and dating all the wrong men, she's getting by with a little help from her friends and still determined to find the real thing. Bernadine Harris has the kids, the house, and the BMW, but a young white bookkeeper has her husband. Now, propped by her prescription for Xanax and her first pack of cigarettes in 106 days, she's entering a whole new world. Can we talk about these character descriptions? We'll get into it. Gloria Matthews owns one of the few stylist beauty salons for Black women in Phoenix and finds solace in religion, her teenage son, other people's hair, and food. Her social and emotional bank accounts are low, but a sweet surprise is about to open up her life. Savannah Jackson is a public relations executive, educated, attractive, and unmarried. On the verge of moving to her fourth city in 15 years, she's lobbying the Lord. Could you send me a decent man? Could he be full of zest and please, a slow, tender, passionate lover? And could he already be what he aspired to? That's the synopsis of our four good friends. And that's kind of what the book is about. So we have Robin, who, if you remember the movie, kind of, you know, in the books, actually, I think she's more ditzy than she is in the movies, which is saying a lot. But she's the youngest one. She's kind of still in these streets. She's the one who dresses what would be considered the most seductive, and she's the one who is like wild and free and really believes in tarot and judges a lot based on that. So we have all of her challenges. One thing I will say that really differs from the book and the movie is in the book we get a lot more about her parents and their struggles, and honestly I think that was missing from the movie, because that is something that really helps to ground us in Robin and gives her true full humanity. Like, she's more than her sexuality, she's more than the men she dates. She has a career, she has a family, and we see parts of that in the movie, but the book just takes that so much further. There's so much room to explore and expound, and I really appreciated that about Robin. Bernadine, Angela Bassett did that. I like Bernadine in the books, but Angela Bassett, I kind of prefer that character. Yes, it's based on this character, but obviously you can tell that Angela Bassett really made her her own. In this book, Bernadine is still resilient, but I would say that in the movie she came across as stronger sooner. Here we really see her struggle more, and that's honest. That really is honest. So I appreciated seeing Bernadine's growth and development over time, and seeing that she has real life struggles. Like, she really struggles with pill addiction and grappling with that, And you know, in the movie we do see her take the divorce hard, but here we really get to see how challenging it was, and I think I really appreciated seeing the full vastness of that. Gloria, Loretta Devine also did that. Everybody did that. First and foremost, let me just say that everyone did that in the movie. Everyone was great, but Gloria here, I would say actually is pretty spot on. I would say that's a pretty spot on character description. I think that we see things, again, it's a book, right? So we see things progress more slowly, but I loved Gloria's character. She really has some challenges though, like a little self-deprecating at times. And something does happen to her here that doesn't happen in the movie that really helps her get on the right track with her weight. So I, again, like the fact that we can really explore the full vastness and scope of these women's lives. Lastly, Savannah. Arguably, Savannah is the main character, even though there are 4 main characters. Or maybe it's supposed to be Bernadine, but we get Savannah first. And I don't like Savannah in the books. And I liked Savannah in the movies, played by the one and only Whitney Houston. So, but in the book, she's much interesting. She's a lot of different things. One, she's much more passive with her family. That sometimes really rubbed me the wrong way, because I was like, listen, I get it. We all want to be respectful, but at some point, you got to stand up for yourself. Also, here she has a sister, so we get to see, I think it's important that we see people with their family and those dynamics. So we do see her sister and deal with that. And her mother is still the same. She still has a lot of the same challenges. Something happens with that man that she meets from New Year's in the book that doesn't happen in the movies, that is crazy and hilarious. But I think that really helps to ground us in who Savannah is. Here, I think Savannah comes across as, I think, more bitter than she did in the movies. She didn't really seem bitter in the movies. They all seemed a little exhausted and tired, right, by the trials and tribulations they've been forced to deal with in life and romantically. But here, there's something about her personality that just isn't as light as it is in the movie. And I think that it made Savannah probably my least favorite character of the 4, which is unfortunate because I think she has a lot to offer. Let's get into the writing. This is written from 4 different perspectives. We have an omnipotent voice that is always there, but we do, like, each chapter we really get to delve into like one of their lives, and then it all kind of comes back together when they are together. And I think structuring it that way was fine. It was great. It made for a quick read. It was never confusing. Terry McMillan's style of writing though is honestly something I think I miss. So I did compare the book Black Girls Must Die Exhausted. I really felt like that writer wrote in the style of Terry McMillan, and in saying that, that means it's very familial. It's written in a way that is intimate. You feel like it's really between girlfriends. You feel like it's between a close group of friends. You have inside jokes. It's well paced. Now, I do think at times you wish for a stronger pen, and what I mean by that is sometimes there are levels and depths that I don't think we get to reach, and I don't necessarily think that's Terry McMillan's desire. And this is a super unfair comparison, but when you read Toni Morrison, let's take Sula, which is one of my all-time favorite books. You still have that intimacy, but you have a deep intimacy. And what I mean by that is Toni Morrison, the late, the great, rest in peace, Ashe, Toni Morrison, the ancestor, the elder, the one of one, does such a magnificent job of giving you the full scope of a human, adding in such deep human elements and breaking them apart in such a way that it illuminates the entire human experience, causes you to question if you know life. But she does it with such a pen that is on top of all of what she's giving you already. She does it with such a masterful pen, such a control of the English language, that you are grateful that you read her, and you have a deep desire to push your pen forward, right? That's an unfair standard. But what I miss sometimes is that deep connectedness to the entire human experience. And for it to be written in such a way that it explores all parts of it. It does it with a use of the English language that really hits home, causes you to reflect and ponder. And that's an unfair comparison. I will not stop saying that. But that is something I miss. For everything I love about Terry McMillan, her style of writing makes it for a quick read, makes it for a fun read, makes it for characters that you'll remember. But they don't stick with you the same way, right? Like, you'd be like, oh, I wonder what happened to that character. You know, I really like that story. But it's not in a deep, deep desire of, I see myself in this character. I guess maybe that's what's missing. I feel like in some ways, unfortunately, the movie did a better job of that than the book does. And that's, you'll probably never hear me say that again. I say that very rarely. But I think that for all of the greatness of the story, for all of what I enjoyed about the story, I do wish that she had delved deeper. And with that being said, I have read the second book. Did you even know there was a second book? There is a second book. I have read it. I finished it. That review will be coming soon. And I think she tries to do more of that in the second book, but we're not talking about that right now. We're talking about this book and reviewing it from the perspective of if I hadn't read the second book yet. And I think that this is a good book. Whether or not I think that someone should rush out and read it, no. I would probably recommend that you watch the movie before you read the book. Because I think that anything you would get from here, anything that's missing, I think you can get it from the movie. Honestly. And I don't know if it's because I saw the movie first. That could very well be it, but I don't think so. I think that there are pieces missing from the movie that are here that I wish they would have included in the movie. But I wouldn't take away anything from the movie. They changed some things in the movie that did not happen here. For instance, that whole scene with old dude outside of Robin's house and her yelling at him from her balcony, and that doesn't happen in the book. Now, crazy things do happen. But I think that made for the movie. Or there is an acceleration in the relationships sometimes in the movie than there are in the book. And that's another thing. Like, I can't get into it because it's about the second book. But as for this one, I liked this book. I enjoyed reading it. I didn't mind the ending. I think the ending was on a hopeful note, which is what I loved. It really left you feeling like these women are going to be okay. For all of their challenges, for all of the ups and downs, these women are going to be a-okay. And I love that. I loved feeling that because they went through a lot. It's like, woo, child, woo, girl. And for all of their pain though, I didn't feel like it ripped me open. That's what it was missing. I did not feel ripped open. And a book doesn't always have to do that, but I feel like they went through so much that I should have, but I didn't. So whether I think you should read this book right now, when you have time, or if you want, I would say read it when you have time. It's worth the read. It's a classic, but it's not the best thing I've read this year. All right, y'all, that is it for me. As always, I am MsMalcolmHughes, one who believes that books are sometimes better than people. And until the next one, please remember to give time, to be kind to each other, and to have the best day of your life on purpose. Adios, o dabo, ciao.